Hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of The Cloudy Vape. In this video we're going to be doing a quick look at the Zephyrus by Youde. The Zephyrus is a newer type of clearomizer, also has an RBA head, and it is just a nice little sub-ohm type tank. So here it is right here. Have a little look at this. So yeah, this video is just going to be a quick look, and then we'll have a review later. But right now, just going to vape on it a little bit with the 0.3 ohm coil head, 20 watts to 50 watts. And yeah, it's using a organic Japanese cotton, and it is a dual horizontal coil inside of here with a ceramic base inside of the coil head. So yeah, a little bit about it. It holds 5 mils of juice, and it has huge airflow intake. It's about 12.5 millimeters by about 2 millimeters in height, and it's dual cyclops on both, and it is adjustable. So without more yapping about it, I'm really trying to not make this one a review, just kind of just showing it to you guys real quickly, and just giving you my initial thoughts, and then we'll have a more in-depth review. But let's check it out. Let's see, I'm vaping this at 48 watts. So I've vaped through about 7 tanks so far in the last 2 days, and the flavor after the first tank, the flavor was just kicking. So it definitely has a really quick break-in time, and yeah, it just reminds me a lot of the sub-ohm or the sub-tanks by Kanger. You're using that horizontal, Japanese cotton. So that's what it kind of reminds me of right away. But it has a top filling method, and it also has a little bit more airflow and a ceramic base with a cyclops intake in the base. It's really weird looking. Maybe I can show it to you without ruining the coil head. That's the only downfall that I personally think. They gave you an RBA deck with it, but they only gave you one coil head. So let's see what that's going to be like and how long this will last. But yeah, I'm going to have another vape, and then we'll dive down, check it out really quickly, come back and talk about it really quickly also. Alrighty, let's look real quickly at what what this looks like. Essentially, I just put it all back in the box just so you can check it out. It looks a little bit like, the Atlantis or, your other sub-ohm tanks as far as the packaging goes. So they switched it up a little bit. You don't have your, your normal Youde box going on. It does switch it up just a tiny bit. So yeah, as far as what you see right away, you see your tank, you see a drip tip, you see a heat sink adapter. It has heat fins in it. You have an RBA deck, a center block, a dual center block RBA deck. Kind of matches a mini Goblin type deck. You have a replacement glass Pyrex for inside here in case that breaks. And then the cool part is you have these little white O-rings that seal off the tank, kind of like the sub tanks. It comes with red and blue replacements, so it is, definitely patriotic. There is just a little bit of information on the back of this. It doesn't say too much as far as like a manual. There's no manual, but as far as the actual Zephyr tank, it says that it's a 45 millimeter device without the drip tip. It's stainless steel, and the glass is Pyrex. It is top filling, 5 mils in juice capacity. The outside airflow is going to be 12 millimeters by 2 millimeters, and there's 2 of those. The inner airflow, basically the delivery through the coil heads, the pre-built coil heads, are going to be a total of 8.65 millimeters. Basically what it is, it's cyclops, whatever you want to call it. And then as far as diameter, 22 millimeters. And yeah, that is about it. The real rebuildable tank has a peak insulator. It uses Japanese cotton, and just talks a little bit about it. So I'm really trying to speed this up because I don't want this to be too long of a video, but it already seems to be going pretty long. So real quickly, let's look at the RBA section just so you can see it. It is just, dual center positive block. You have, your 2, I don't believe they're milled into the deck. Are they milled? Now, I don't think the negatives are milled into the deck. And then here is your juice flow, your juice channels, which are just kind of cut into the deck like that. So those are your juice channels. And then you can see the intake on the bottom. So this is 4 3mm intake holes for airflow. So you have, 2 on each side going right over the coils. So it is a lot of airflow. This little pin right here is what connects to your positive connection when you screw it down. So essentially this is just a RBA coil head. You have a little barrel that screws down over it, and that is how you that's the quick look at your RBA deck. So it is really simple. It has a pretty decent juice well as far as juice channels go. But I'm going to keep messing with it, keep testing on it before I really talk about it. Now, looking at the drip tip, you have 2 different options. You can just use this. This has some heat fins on it. So this is an adapter for this smaller rifle barreled. It's kind of rifle drilled if you see inside. If I look really closely, you'll see, yeah, it's kind of cut, spiraled out, kind of like the Imp has that hurricane tip. So this is kind of cut out. So it's just a small little short drip tip that connects to this adapter, and then that goes onto your base. So you can use that, or you can use a regular 510 inside of here, or put the 510 in this adapter, or just use this little one. So it does have a few options with that, but stock 510s do work. So here's the airflow as far as what I was talking about, 12 millimeters in length and 2 in height, and you've got 1 on each side. It is adjustable. It cuts off like that. It has a ring that pops off just like that. The bottom connection is going to be I believe it's just a silver plated pin, and it's just a grommet pin like most of your sub tanks. And as far as markings go, it just says your 2015, so it's not serialed, and it says Youde. Screwing it open is like, again, just like most of your tanks. You can unscrew right here, pop it off, and here is your coil head. So looking at your coil head, you can just screw that off like that, and that is what the bottom of the coil head looks like. It does have a grommet with a little intake in there. There is your juice flow holes for the coil head on each side. And then looking inside, it's kind of hard because it's a little dark, but essentially what it is, I'll try to get a closer picture because this is too saturated now. But it's just 2 vertical coils, or I'm sorry, 2 horizontal coils laying side by side, and then your intake is just a Cyclops style intake going, staggering between the 2 coils. So that's kind of what it looks like. And again, in the review, I'll break one apart. But for this, just kind of showing you it. Here's your glass section that just pops off, is just nice and press fitted. And there is your chimney. And I believe that is all in one piece, this chimney part and this top part. So I'm just going to pop this back on, screw this down like this, and then I will show you the top filling method. And I will just wrap it up real quick. Alright, so top filling method is pretty simple. You just unscrew on your drip tip, just like that. It has a little grommet seal, so it seals off the juice. You pop this grommet off, and you have 2, I believe they're like 3mm intakes, or 3mm holes cut side by side, and you just fill it up really simply. So at least what I'll do is fill it up on camera for you. I got some Castle Long Reserve by 5 Ponds. Let's see. Just put it in there, and it fills up nice and quick. So really no issues on that. Once you're done with that, you can put this little plug back into it. I haven't done it a few times and it hasn't leaked or anything, but if you want to have a seal on it, you can do that. So screw it down like that. That fills it up, and yeah, it's good to go. So that's just a quick look at this. We'll go ahead and do a review later, and also do a quick build on the RBA deck in that review. So let's go back up to FaceTime and talk about it just a little bit more. So as far as my thoughts, so far I think that for the coil head being a 0.3, it is a very nice airflow, but it feels more restricted than other 0.3 coil heads it feels a little restricted, but at the same time that kind of gives it better flavor because you're getting more of a warm vape, not so airy. You have a lot of air intake, at least on the bottom. You have bottom airflow, but the actual internal intake is being kind of blocked by the coils a little bit. So you actually have the air coming right through the coils, around the coils, and so it definitely gives a more dense flavor, more intense flavor, a little bit warmer vape compared to other, I'm going to say 0.3, like the 0.3 Atlantis coils. But it definitely gives a warmer vape compared to, you know, the Atlantis. The Atlantis 2, sorry, the newer Atlantis coil heads. So as far as that goes, I definitely think that the coil head would probably run a little bit better. I believe they have 0.2, 0.3, and 0.4, possibly 0.5. But I think a 0.4 would probably be money. It would be perfect because this to me is just a little bit too warm. After just after vaping it a little while, I think and at 50 watts. But as far as how the coil heads hold up so far, the last 7 tanks I've put this through, they wick great. Never an issue as far as getting wick, getting it to wick or getting the juice to get in there. So as far as that goes, awesome. But yeah, the RBA deck, I think you could have a tiny bit more room for wicking, but you kind of build it, you kind of just feather down the cotton inside of the juice channels, and it works pretty well. I haven't had a lot of problems with it, and the air intake is pretty decent. It's a huge air intake, but because you have such a reduced chamber, it's kind of a weird sensation because you do get a good amount of air, but at the same time it's such a reduced chamber, so you do get really good flavor. But yeah, if I talk too much more about it, this is gonna turn into a review, and it's not supposed to be a review. This is supposed to be just my first thoughts about it and just a quick look about it. So I would probably say in about 2 or 3 weeks after I've really built a lot on the RBA deck and possibly get more coil heads and other ranges in the coil heads, the 0.4, 0.2, 0.3, and whatever else ranges they have, I'll do a full review and talk a little bit more about it. Also do a build on the RBA deck. So that's going to wrap up this quick look. If you want to know more about this device, definitely look in the description box below. I'll put a few links to a few retailers online that I can find. Also a link to Youde's page about this device and all that good stuff. One more time if I didn't say it, thank you so much Youde for sending this out for review, quick look-ish thing. So yeah, that's it, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. And if you like my videos in general, please subscribe. And as always, stay classy and keep vaping.